I'm at the beach. It's very kind of windy. Nice Melbourne weather, on the cooler side. And I'm at this thing. I wanted to talk about beliefs. Your beliefs shape your reality. Whatever you believe affects and determines your attitude and your perception. So that's the way you view the world, in a positive way or a negative way. And it's more nuanced than positive or negative, but it usually falls under the different ways, the different attitudes people can have, the different ways people perceive life generally fall under those two categories of being positive, in the sense that they are contributing goodness, clarity, happiness, forgiveness, love into the world or into one's life, or the attitudes can be negative. They're contributing doubt, fear, suspicion, and these kind of things. So our beliefs determine our attitude and perception. Our attitude and perception, which is our orientation towards life, the way we view life, determines our thoughts. So our attitude and perception determines our thoughts. The thoughts we think naturally, our default thinking, is a result of our attitude and perception. That which we are focusing on, that which we think is relevant. Our thoughts relate to those things. And those things are determined by our attitude, which is determined by our beliefs. Now, these thoughts have emotional charges to them. Again, it can be positive, it can be negative, it can be neutral, it can be very nuanced, just like beliefs are. But when we entertain those thoughts naturally, as we do, we're drawing out from those thoughts the emotional charge. So we are experiencing the emotion of a thought by entertaining the thought, by placing our attention to it. Where attention goes, energy flows, right? So where we put our attention determines where our energy is going to be directed. And when we direct our attention to a thought, we're not just seeing the thought for what it is, we're also drawing out the emotional energy that's within the thought. There's a difference between observing, right? Observation and attention. We should all be present. We should all be observing life without attachment. But we also entertain thoughts. We dwell on thoughts. We focus on thoughts. And therefore we experience feelings. So our beliefs determine our attitudes and perceptions. Our attitudes and perceptions determine our thoughts. And our thoughts determine our feelings, our emotions. Those feelings prompt us to an action. So our feelings determine the actions we take. Those actions then lead to an experience. The decisions we make lead to an experience in the external world or the internal world as well. And that experience leads to feelings. Again. And the feelings we feel, the emotions we feel, the sensations, because of an experience, reinforce the link between that final feeling and the initial thought which prompted the initial feeling. So, as a result of our beliefs and our attitudes and perceptions, we have thoughts which prompt a feeling. It could even be a desire, it could be an anticipation, and we act on those feelings, which lead to experiences, and those experiences create feelings. And those feelings strengthen the importance, the relevance of the initial thought which created the feeling ultimately. And because the final feeling has strengthened the initial thought, it's also reinforcing the attitude which created the thought. And because the attitude is being reinforced by that feeling, the belief is being reinforced because the attitude is being reinforced. And the attitude is being reinforced because the initial thought is being reinforced by that final feeling. So we've got beliefs, we've got attitudes and perceptions, and then we've got thoughts. And from here, we've got a cycle. Beliefs, attitudes, thoughts, in the cycle. And the thoughts, and we got feelings, and we got actions, we got experiences, then we got feelings, then we got the thought again. And as that feeling reinforces the thought reinforces the attitude reinforces the beliefs. And therefore everything is reinforced. The beliefs we have don't necessarily serve you. They serve themselves. Beliefs serve beliefs. Our beliefs reinforce our beliefs. They preserve our beliefs. They're self-sustaining. And they're not in the interest of your highest good or your health or your emotional, mental well-being. The beliefs we have are in the interest of their own self-preservation. They don't want to die. And so this is why we should be conscious of our beliefs. I don't think shadow work needs to be that difficult. It is important. Yeah. Change your beliefs, you'll change your reality. Your beliefs they're not the result, or how should I say this, or your reality is not the result of your behavior, or your value is not determined by anything outside of you. It's not even determined by your behavior. It's determined by your state of consciousness. When you understand that you're the awareness, you're able to detach from everything. And not just everything outside of you, but also everything that you do. Your mistakes, your failures, shortcomings, whatever it is. It's not you. It's something you experience, something you're aware of. It's vital that you understand that what you believe determines your reality, because your reality is just your perception of existence. It's your experience. Your reality is just your experience. It's your personal experience. And that experience is entirely determined by your beliefs, subject to the laws of nature. I can believe anything I want about nature, but nature is still nature. I can believe I can fly, I can flap my wings around, but gravity's still going to hold me down, right? But apart from the laws of nature, we design our own reality. We create our own reality. And it's by our beliefs. That's it. And so, what do I do, Josiah? Well, you need to get into understanding the natural state of consciousness, and that's presence. The only way you can be free from your existing beliefs, the only way you can change your beliefs and therefore change your reality is by shifting your focus. You got to place your attention on the present moment to realize that you and your mind are two separate things. You and your feelings are two separate things. And you and your experiences are two separate things. And understanding that you are the observer allows you to be present. It's not easy, but it's simple, and it's worth it. We have an unnatural but common inclination to close our minds, to close our hearts, and to pretty much move through this life assuming thought and emotion and scenarios in our head as just facts. How we feel about people as just facts. Our memory of a certain thing being a fact. That's how most of the world operates. But it's not true. People are living in their minds, and their seat of awareness, which they, as the awareness, are supposed to be holding that seat, right? It's vacant. You gotta be aware. And once you're aware, once you're present, once you can go through your day and allow all the energy from whatever's happening around you to pass straight through you without being resisted, that's when you'll be able to design your own beliefs and choose the beliefs that allow you to create the life you actually want to live. And that's the goal here, right? We all just want to live a good life. Let go of your attachment to the mind. Let go of your attachment to pain, to the past, to even the future. Accept what is and live in the present moment. And you will have clarity and peace. And you will be able to then see with that clarity what it is that you've been believing, how it's been affecting your life, what it is you've been thinking. Because you're outside of it all. You're outside of the cycle. Because you're outside of the cycle, you can change the cycle. You can't change it from within the cycle. So when you're present, you're outside of the cycle. It's not a bad thing to have beliefs, but beliefs are the mechanism of reality. So they need to be engineered for success, for the reality that you want to have. Because them beliefs ain't gonna change themselves. You gotta change them. So change them.